Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we got a map which caught my eye on the workshop last week, but there weren't enough available slots to be able to review it last week. I've held it over to this week in the hope there'd be a slot, and lo and behold, here we are today. That was a map that was created specifically for a forum-based RPG game, according to the description, and please note that
it's my first map.
That's right, so we're going to be forgiveful of the obvious error. And there is an obvious error. Easily fixed, not going to affect anybody's gameplay, will want a bit of cleaning up. Other than that, a really striking map. Do you like striking maps? Well, if you do, hit that like button because it really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people, and it helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for that support. Today's map is Drake's Pass by Hiryuu. Hiryuu? I'm going with Hiryuu. Brazilian creator. I thought we were going to be Scandinavian with the double U's going on, but no, Brazilian apparently. There's your start square. Start square is perfectly fine. Absolutely fine. Rail and road going into there as well. The terrain heights, I would say it looks flat across the middle. It looks it. And then we got resources which are swathed down the actual the playable area. So again, areas that you can actually get hold of and play with. If you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map will look like this. Off to the workshop, what do we need? The answer is absolutely nothing, apart from all of this stuff here. There is a one-click collection, which we'll check in a moment. We'll be using the vanilla temperate theme and Owl's Cinematic LUT version 2, if I remember rightly. So that's the combo for today's map. Here's that one-click collection. When I said you don't need anything, it's a medium-sized list. It's not super big. I think everything here is used. I think I've not checked every individual. I've certainly not looked at the loading screen. All I know is it's got a very striking appeal to it, today's map. As much to do with the terrain work as it does to do with the foliage. Now, I know we always come in from the outside of the map and look at the highways we come in. But first of all, before we look at that, because I don't want to make it about the highway, I just want to show you the ruggedness this is a rugged map. And I like what I'm seeing. I'm just going to say it. I like what... Is it going to be an easy build? No. But I like what I'm seeing. Bearing in mind it wasn't built specifically for a city build, it was built for an RPG. Now if we turn the camera all the way around, we can head off towards the edge of the map from the highway, which there is a highway around here somewhere. Somewhere around here is a highway. Hang on, I'm looking for it. Somewhere, maybe it's just over the hill. I can't see a highway. Well anyway, apparently somewhere on this map is a highway. When you do find the highway, you'll spot that there's maybe one or two... Oh, I found it. There's one or two trees on the highway that you'll probably want to delete. Again, this is down to Proprietary Anarchy being switched on. It should be my default setting, but I think for a little while, I think I reinstalled Cities Skylines and I didn't actually switch this as a default setting back on. So it's been a while where detailers haven't had the full detail showing up in their map, because that setting wasn't switched back on, and people who left foliage under networking, it wasn't showing through. So the lesser players were getting away with it, and the better players were being held back on it. And I just want to be standard for everybody, unless it says in the description, don't switch. But then it's good practice. It's good practice to remove the trees from because those trees are still there. It's like just putting a duvet over something. If you put a duvet over the cat is still there. And when you take the duvet up, the cat will still be there, unless it's scarpered, but it probably won't because it'll like it under there. So anyway, what the point I'm making is when you're putting down your networking, delete the things that were there, because if you're playing with if your city builder is an anarchy user, they may end up with this happening, and it kind of spoils the map a little bit. So that's your lesson for today. If this is the first time watching the show and you're seeing all this value, how is that happening? It's a mod, it's an Anarchy mod, and it's Anarchy switched on, loading in the assets underneath the buildings and stuff from the off. And you'll even see a little bit of Anarchy going on with today's asset of the day when we get to it, but it's not quite as bad as this. But I couldn't be bothered to remove what I saw. I just left it there. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure the creator won't mind. Creator probably doesn't even watch the show. I wouldn't blame them. I'm sure they've got better things to do, like making amazing assets. Anyway, that's the road and the rail. Connects the edge of the map. We will take a short break. Do you think they'll be shipping on today's map? Do you? You're wrong. I'm telling you right now, you're absolutely wrong. But we'll be back after this very brief intermission. And so back to Drake's Pass by Hiryuu. And your shipping routes, well, we've got air routes. I hope the plane will fly over this mountain. I do hope so. Don't want it flying into the side of the mountain. But yes, obviously there's no shipping routes on today's map because we have this big old air routes running across the map from one side to the other, which will serve you quite nicely. But I told you, you were wrong. Because you were predicting those shipping routes, weren't you? I know you guys. Yet there is actually one in this little splash of water in the corner. There it is, right there. Runs along, and it'll do a little janky right at the end there, off towards the edge. It'll work if you want to have a harbour down there. 81 tiles for the harbour, of course. Water flow, it's not the strongest for water flow in the start square, but it does have water flow, and it's adequate to start you off. Of course, there are many an asset now which will enable you to avoid this, and if you're using Anarchy, I'm sure you'll have all of the custom assets. But yeah, it's adequate, and it runs through the start square. What can I say? So the map as a whole, it's really rugged. It's got a really striking aesthetic. First of all, the tree work. Now the tree mix does seem really quite spammed, but in a way that actually works for me. I tell you what, look at the placement of the rocks down here, these vanilla rocks. They are, I would say, hand placed, because they do seem to be on the actual pointy bits rather than in between. I think a lot of time has been spent using custom rocks to accent this map, you know. It looks like it's just been very quickly done. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the forest and the trees and stuff, it's a real mix, an eclectic mix that kind of works well together. Don't think a lot of time has been spent on it, but it does work. I'm okay with it. I'm quite happy with it. We'll head over. We see the middle of the map, devoid of fir trees, which is going to be good for building. But it's not flat. It's rugged. Even out here, it's rugged. You're going to have to do a lot of work to actually make this. Is a challenging map, yeah, and really striking as well. One particular mountain I haven't shown you yet is beyond striking. It's the one thing that I think both makes and breaks the map, because it's a good looking map. It has that problem obviously with the trees under the roads, but I mean, we've got waterways that are really very lush as well. One tiny little problem with the waterways, a slightly gloopy water here, but I think we get away with it, because it looks like it's a bit of a waterfall going on there. It's clearly a waterfall going on here, and a good looking one as well. Remember, vanilla theme. I'm not entirely sold on the water spawn point, but I've seen a lot worse, and I don't think it's the maps. Maps hasn't got really too much of a problem with that as a spawn point. And then as we follow the river down, like I say, it's a little bit gloopy, a little bit lumpy, but it looks like it could be just because it's a number of little different waterfalls going. So I can live with it. I'm okay with it. There's only a little bit, slightly little bumpy water here. But, oh, and a couple of drowned trees. Yes, okay, they're wearing their trunks, so it's fine. But we follow the river down. Now, at this point onwards, it's going to be good. Apart from one tiny little spot where it's just lacking. You'll see. Nice lake here, really lovely lake. I just genuinely love the shape. I love the shapes of the mountains, although, like I say, it's not a realistic build, but it's not meant to be. It is an RPG. It's I love the shapes of the water. I'm loving how the water looks so good. Okay, helped by having a really nice LUT, but my goodness, it does not look vanilla at all. We've got a little bit of glitching going on here. Now, this is Owl's rocks, ground rocks. You want to switch those over to Zardas's rocks because they are water friendly. Exactly the same rocks, but they're a prop version rather than the building version. Got the same little bit of water glitching going on there with the vanilla rocks too. Heading down into another lake. Got a few wading trees there. They're not so bad, but again, they probably wouldn't like to be so deeply into the water, so I shall point it out. And a few trees on the right and left as well along here. It's not the biggest problem. Those 3 or 4 that are in the middle of the river were. These ones, not really a huge issue. Following the river down. It's such a scenic river. I want to take the route, and it's a controlled river. It looks pretty neat. Ignore the building on your left now. We'll be coming back to this in a minute. It is a clue that we are kind of in the start square area now, by the way. There's your hint. We've got some interesting riverbanks. So they're a little bit glitchy in places, but it kind of works with the map. And I think I'm good with it all. Anyway, follow the river down here, get into the wildlands as well. We get a little confluence of 2 little rivers now. We're going to merge in at this location, and that's your downstream over there. The river is coming in. Oh, we'll have a quick glance upstream. We're not going to go into full detail, but if I show you there, this I can live with this. It's not because it's not realism. I mean, that certainly looks good, doesn't it? Yeah. But if you look at the placement of the river, it's actually the highest point. Now that river I doubt would have actually found its way down the highest point of the hill there. It probably would have found a little route down this way, or maybe down the other side and wound its way around. But it still looks amazing. It still looks amazing. And because it is kind of a fantasy map, I think we can let that go. But so, if that's not my problem, I said there was a problem a bit further downstream. What is the problem? Well, I think it's just around this corner here. No, it's a little bit further. A little bit further. You'll see it. There it is. Just this little section here, where the water goes really shallow. Right there. It just thins out. And because we've got the green underneath from the grass texture, it just looks a little bit weak at that spot. Anyway, the river then just follows down, bends round. It's slightly gouged looking river section here. And then out through a river delta at the end. So this last section, it looks like it was maybe rushed, the very last section. Just a few more seconds I've spent on that, and it would have added just a little bit. It's way out in the fog. Who cares? Who cares? Now, I remember I said something about a mountain that's a little bit more so. Look at this one. This is what I'm going to call Back Scratcher Mountain. Look at that. Can you imagine getting that and sticking it on a stick and just rubbing it up and down? Oh, that would get the flakes off your back, wouldn't it? Lovely. Yes, absolutely glorious. Truly glorious. Speaking of glorious, we'll head down towards the start square where we do have that glorious treat to see. There's your start square. I'm going to switch the topographic lines on for you. And you can see it's not very flat. If I come down, you can make out we've got lots of bumps going on, lots of undulations. And if we turn the camera around, this is your start square here. No flat land there. I found a bit of flat land up by the river for our asset of the day. And it's the legend themselves. It's Ronix69 with Marché frais Géant. Frais Géant? Yeah. Big, fresh supermarket, basically. Based on a hypermarket just outside of Paris. And of course, this is Ronix, so wow. Just we don't see so much of them these days, but they are truly a star. They're a star. They really are. And factoids, because factoids, why not? Why not while we're here? The perilous journey undertaken by the human sperm prior to conception could be compared, oh, it shouldn't be, please don't, could be compared to someone swimming in treacle the distance across the Atlantic Ocean. And then getting to New York and finding of the 20 million little guys in the ocean with you, they're only going to let the first one in and everybody else can die. Lovely. Marché, frais, Géant by Ronick69. That is splendid. Parking and shopping and detailing and escalators, and it's all in there. And a lettuce as well. Do you like a lettuce? As I always say to the guys in Subway, you can never have too much lettuce. My words, you never have too much lettuce. I'm a rabbit. Anyway, your chance to vote on this map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen where you can vote for free. But what do I think of today's map? Well, I'm glad you asked. Aesthetically, it's striking, it's memorable, and it's memorable for all the right reasons. I think this is something a little bit special. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I'm going to put it towards the bottom end of the 4 stars. I don't feel it really is pushing towards being a 5-star map. But I'm not going to forget it. And I like what I see. And that credits a 4 star. Detailing. This, I feel, would be a high 3-star map. Pushing towards a 4th. Maybe even the 4th on a good day, you know. But when you've got so many trees under the road showing through, it's going to always be difficult to award the 3rd star. So I'm going to go for a high 2 stars. And yeah, just need to clean up those roads. Gameplay potential. It's playable. It's challenging. It's a little bit awkward. A little bit naive in places. I'm going to give it 3 stars because it's playable. But I'm going to go at the bottom end of 3. It's Drake's Pass by Hiryuu. Hiryuu. Yes, excellent. Especially when it's been designed for an RPG, a forum-based RPG, whatever that is. I've got my suspicions. It's like, you know, never mind. Yeah, good for you guys. Enjoy your map. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elites. Use the word of the day into the comments for 100 population points just for fun. And we'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great day.